I broke the rules of our open marriage and really don't know what to do. 28 male, 30 female, 20 female, 26 female, and 40 male. Wasn't sure if this would be well received in our polyamory, so I am posting here. I think this is a larger subreddit, and maybe I can get a wider array of options. A lot of people involved, so I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. My wife and I have been together for 5 years and married for 3.5 years. I am 28 male and she is 30 female. We have no children together and we agreed to open our marriage up a little over a year ago, late 2011. Initially, it was for her to explore her bi side and we had a few group encounters. Eventually, my wife ends up meeting some girl, 20 female, who ends up moving in with us. They are together in their own way, and occasionally we will play together, but it's mostly her and my wife. My wife also met a guy over the summer who she sees quite frequently. That guy is 40 male, approximately, and I don't really care for him, but he is harmless. I just feel kind of sad for him, and I don't worry about him too much, but he is part of our life. Initially, I was fine with her just exploring on her own because she had an uptight childhood and I was enjoying the threesomes that she set up. And I thought it was the phase. We would have fun for a year or so and then put it behind us and move on. So I had no plans of dating anyone else once her guy friend got involved. My opinion sort of changed. I didn't care enough at the time to forbid it. And my thinking was I would cause issues by telling her what she can and can't do. But I started to act more and more single and put myself out there. Our initial agreement was total upfront, honestly. But I threw that out the window. I really didn't like our house turning into a hotel with my wife and her lovers around all the fucking time. I ended up having different 3 one-night stands in August, and out of those, ONS, I met a girl who I started to have feelings for. That girl is Abby, 26 female, and she was my respite from my wife and the madness at home. We saw each other casually for the first month or so, and I dodged around a house setup and open marriage, but eventually came clean. We took a break when I told her I was married, but eventually she took me back. She took me back around New Year's and we've been seeing each other a lot, and she is kind of forcing my hand. She wants me out of my house and a divorce filed soon, or she is out. Right now, I'm struggling with what to do. Do I pursue Abby and abandon my marriage, or do I try to give it one last try with a wife? Do I owe it to her to say let's do away this poly garbage and see if she is willing? Or is it better to cut my losses?
First of all, let me say that there is nothing wrong with you being uncomfortable with the original agreement you and your wife came to. There is also nothing wrong with not liking how it's played out or not wanting to have her multiple lovers living with you. Everyone has their comfort zones, and clearly yours have been breached. However, unless I'm mistaken, all of the actions that your wife has taken in the last year and that you are currently uncomfortable with were things that you either agreed to initially and/or did not express your discomfort with as they occurred. Your wife, as much as you dislike the current state of your relationship, has been acting completely within the bounds of what you agreed upon. And, as far as she knows, you have no problem with any of it. If you had communicated what you were feeling, it would have given her a chance to adapt her behavior, or you could have worked out an arrangement that worked better for you, or you could have decided that you wanted different things and amicably parted ways. Instead, you kept it to yourself when your feelings changed and distanced yourself from your relationship. I'll come right out and say it. You didn't break the rules of your open relationship. You cheated on your wife. The difference between cheating and having an open relationship is honesty, and in your case, there just wasn't there. Is your relationship salvageable? Maybe or maybe not. But the only way to find out is to do what you should have done in the first place and come clean to your wife, both about your affair and the feelings and frustrations that led to it. Then, it will be up to the two of you to decide if this is something you're willing and able to work through. Dr. If you're unhappy, communicate what you are feeling. Failing to do so leads to resentment and ultimately weakens the relationship. A conversation, or AITA, needs to happen here because right now, it seems like a great deal of stuff between you and your wife has gone unspoken for fear of, well, the exact consequences you are facing now. Things have clearly gotten out of control with this open marriage thing, especially as the distribution of power was not set equal at the beginning of it. Your wife was given a great deal of power with few checks on it, and unfortunately she abused that power to the point that you were driven to push the boundaries of your arrangement as well. You need to talk to her about this problem and either find a way to better manage the open situation, I don't recommend it, or help her to see that this open marriage in general just can't work, at least not with you two. I agree with all this. You didn't want an open marriage, you wanted full access to the threesomes, you both wanted your cake. So you opened the marriage, but you guys didn't set good boundaries or have good communication. If you are going to do something this drastic, it can't be as a way to fix something that is already broken. It has to be as part of a very strong, healthy relationship. That being said, I have yet to see it actually work. However, you agreed to it, and you have not communicated, given your story, your current feelings about it. Otherwise, you at least owe her, your wife, an understanding of why it is no longer working for you, and honesty about your own goings on. Man up and discuss it as the husband you promised her you'd be, better or worse. Remember that part. I would leave your wife, but spend some time alone instead of launching yourself straight into another serious relationship. It's not fair to Abby if she is your rebound, and you might not even realize she is. The fact that she took you back after you revealed you were married worries me. Sort out what you want, not what you were driven to want due to the insanity in your home. Perhaps spend some time with a therapist hashing out the damage your wife did you. If Abby really is meant to be with you forever, surely she can wait a little while so that you can enter the new relationship as a whole, healthy, baggage-less man. The only way these sorts of things can actually work out is with a lot of trust and a lot of communication. I kind of think your wife heard about the lifestyle and thought it would be fun without really knowing how to make it functional. I also sort of feel bad for you because I don't know that you really understood what you were agreeing to. Speaking with hindsight, I'd say that this could have been prevented had there been more discussion before moving forward. Now that the mess is made, I do think that you owe it to your wife and yourself to at least address the issue. You need to be frank about how it feels being in your position. You don't like having an open door policy in the house, you don't like her boyfriend, etc. I suggest making more clear set boundaries. Perhaps you can agree to only meet others outside of the house. Maybe you have to approve of the people she is in an outside relationship with. Whatever feels right to the both of you. And maybe it might be worth it to kind of shut things down for a little bit and reconnect. I don't think it would be the right thing to just up and walk away without trying to make it work first. If after you've given it some time, you realize that it's just not going to work, then I'd say walking away is fine. At least put in some effort to fix it first, though. Good luck. I'm going to give you some advice for now and future stuff. For now, it seems like you just want permission for this marriage to be over. If that's what you want, you have it. You have lost respect for your wife and you're so afraid of talking to her that you have completely ruined your marriage. I'd say for this situation, leave .now onto the big problem here. We have no children together and we agreed to open our marriage up a little over a year ago, late 2011. Initially it was for her to explore her bi side and we had a few group encounters. Eventually my wife ends up meeting some girl 20/F who ends up moving in with us. You agreed to this open marriage. This was your time to set boundaries where you needed them. You know, you needed to talk about it. This girl ended up moving in with you. You had no say in this. I'm thinking it's more likely that you just didn't talk about it. Your wife also starts dating a man who you obviously have no respect for, and you don't seem to like him at all. You would think by then you would want to talk to the woman that is supposed to be your partner and best friend. Nope, you keep your mouth shut then, and then you start getting bitter and resentful. You start referring to your own wife as a slut. This is the part that baffles me the most. You're in a relationship where it's pretty difficult to cheat. I mean, all you had to do was talk to your wife about seeing someone else. What do? You manage to cheat on her because yet again you decide not to talk to your wife. You even mess up that relationship because you didn't talk to Abby about being in an open marriage. So, now you want to leave. Fine. That respect you lost for your wife is gone, and it's going to take a lot of work and communication to get it back, and you're clearly not willing to do that. I say leave. However, if you do stay with Abby, you're going to need to talk with her and be honest with her. Having kids isn't a cakewalk, and you are going to need to work as a team. I hope you see the pattern about your complete lack of communication. I hope you break that pattern. There are a few questions to ask yourself to get down to the nuts and bolts of what's happening. Are you living the life you want / work for ? Can your wife continue in her relationships with others if you were not a part of them ? Can you live with your wife and have the kind / type of romantic intimacy you want ? Would living with Abby provide you with something you are not getting at the moment ? Would Abby gain a better quality of life if you were with her exclusively ? Would you being exclusive with Abby deny the ability of anyone else to live as they wish ? Personally, I'm not into polyamory, but the description you give is not one of mutual balance and happiness. I consider compassion and balance to be one of the keys to healthy relationships. This sounds like there is neither. I think it seems like you have two problems. First being that you have a bunch of people living in your house. It is not a hotel or a homeless shelter, it's your house. Seems to me this bothers you a lot. You seem like you are okay with open relationships, which I'm not sure how much I can help you with. I don't think your new girl seems like a keeper, and I think it will be really hard for both you and your wife to turn this relationship back into a monogamous one. I think you should talk to your wife about what you want, if you know what you want. While I realize how much this is bothering you, you've still given her the okay to do everything she's done so far. Your inability to communicate your problems has almost ruined this marriage. She is going to be flawed when she realizes how much resentment you've built up behind her back. Whenever you go to discuss this with her, make sure to keep that in mind. Need to communicate through hard times is not going to go away. It's a skill you need, or else any relationship you get into will lead you to resent your spouse.